Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Creatnprocess. In this video, we'll look at how you can apply double color exposure effect in Photoshop. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can apply color exposure effect in very simple steps. I'm going to show you some easy ways and techniques to create this effect. Whether you have a bright image or a dark image, or you want to mix two different images as one composition. So let's begin with the designing process. So the first thing we're going to do is to create out this effect. We will be using some bright images. You need two images of the same model in different poses. Select these two images and drag and drop to our work area and enter. So there are two images, first and the second. So the next thing we're going to do is to scale up the size, Command and Control T, and I'll just scale it and place it around here. And here's our second image. I'll just scale on this size a little bit and place it around here. Now if you check out over here, both the characters are facing the same direction. So what I need over here is I just flip the other image so that we can give some interesting composition. So selecting the top image, I'll go to Edit, Transform, and flip horizontally, and this will flip our image horizontally, just that image. So we got that. Now what I'll do is to apply this effect, just double click on the layer to open the layer style panel, and here under blending option you see these channels RGB. So if I check R, you can see unchecking the R will give you this red and blue effect, and that's the thing which I want over here. You can do some different effect as well. If I uncheck green and blue, you can see it give the effect vice versa. This one is now red and this is blue. So for our design, I wanted this image to be blue, so just uncheck red and check green and blue and click OK. So here are our image. Now let's do the positioning of our image. So I'll just select the top image, scaling up the size to match it with our second image like this, and I'll use the arrow keys to do the proper placement, and I think this is fine. Now I'll just select both the image and just scale up the size to fill up the whole artwork area and enter. So here's our two images. This is a basic step. The first step is to just apply the RGB channels and get this effect. Now the second thing to do the adjustments is to add the selective color adjustment layer. So using this will adjust each of the color which we are not fine with. So right now, as I can see over here, red, I need some adjustment. So I just select this red and I'll just adjust the slider over here. So as you can see, if I adjust the yellow slider, you can see I can change the tone of the image. So right now it's red, so I'll just make it a little bit of, maybe I'll keep it like that, and I'll just go on with the magenta to make the color darker or lighter. So if I just add some little bit of darkness, and using this I'm just adding some depth like this. So keep it around here and a little bit of details like this, and after that I'll select the cyan. So I'll just make it a little bit of this much. We'll just adjust a little bit, and with this value I can increase the intensity of the blue color. So I'll just keep it around like this. Now once you get this, the next step is to add levels to increase the contrast and do some little adjustments with the color tone as well. So I'll just add levels. We'll just add a little bit of contrast and make it a little bit brighter. Then select the red color and we'll just adjust the intensity of the red tone. I'll keep it around like this. Then I'll just blue, and using this I'll just drag this slider and increase the number, and as you can see I'm giving some color tone to the overall design. It will change the overall color tone and I'm getting this nice cool effect. So I'm just going on with that, and over here I'm just adjusting the details. Like you can either want to make it brighter or maybe a little bit of darker like that, and I think this composition and that looks good. Now as you can see, if I zoom it in over here, you can see some sharp details are being shown. So to give that a sharpness to your image, what I did over here is I selected everything, and with a Command Alt and E pressed, you create an image. If I hide this, you can see here's our image. So this is the top image which I have created. So I'm going to use this to give some cool effects. So first of all, selecting this image, change the blend mode to vivid light, and this will harshen the image. But the next thing we're going to do is to go to filter, others, and high pass, and using this, if you preview it nicely, you can see you got some nice details over here. If I increase, it will increase the sharpness of each of the like details. So we'll keep it a balance. So I'll keep it around 1.2 or 1.3, and that will give you that, like if I remove it, you can see it's very smooth. So we need some little sharpness for this effect. So I'll keep it around 1.3 and click OK. So here is our image, and that's where you have finished. So fine, after that, if you want to add some text, I'll just select this text and drag it, drop it over here and place it around here, and that way you can create a nice cover design. So now let's look at if it's a dark image. If you have a dark image and you want to apply some effect to it, like this image, for this we have given some different color tones. So how to create that? And the answer is very simple. Just open the image. So I'll just select this and open this in Photoshop. Here's our image. I'll just make the resolution a little less because it's very huge image. So it's 3000. I'll keep it around 1500 and click OK. So here's our image, and let's import the other image. So I'll just import this image and place it on top. Just unlock this and convert these images to smart object, and I'll just select both layers and scale up the size a little bit and place it around here. I'll select the lower image and place it around here like that. So now it's the very same thing. Just double click on the top layer and open the layer style panel. Under blending option, here you can do the like experiment. Like if I uncheck red, you will see that blue and red is there, and if I check red and uncheck green and blue, you see the opposite. So for this composition, I'll keep it like this. I like this composition, but now to give this cool effect, this greenish tone and pinkish tone, we'll do some little changes to our effect. So what I'll do over here is I'll just double click on the second layer as well, and I will uncheck blue, and this will give you that greenish tone to our second image. So I like this image, I want this to be like this, so I'll keep it like this. Now the next step is to do the adjustments to get this cool, calm color tone and the overall composition. And to give that, first of all, let's adjust the size. As you can see, our top image is a little smaller, so I'll just increase the size a little bit and make it balanced. And selecting these two images, I'll just do some repositioning. Now let's add the adjustment layer. So the first adjustment layer which I'm going to add is the, like if you check it over here and open the layer style panel, you see that it's selective color. So if I hide out everything, you got this simple plain image with the same effect which I applied. So first thing I added is the selective color adjustment layer. So with that, I changed some color tone over here, this red to little magenta, and this greenish to I faded it a little bit and make it a little plain. And after that, I added the levels, and using the level, I added this greenish background color, and then I added the colors, text, and these logos and all. So let's do that. So the first step is to add selective color adjustment layer. So selecting this top image, let's add selective color adjustment layer. So go there, apply selective color adjustment layer, and here is our image. So first thing, we need to change the color of the red. So I'll select the red color and just play around with this magenta. So if I play around with the magenta, you can see I can increase or decrease the intensity of the color. So we'll keep it a little bit medium and play around with the yellow tone. And if you slide the yellow color, you see you can give some magenta, add some yellowish tone to the red, and it will give you a nice magenta color. So we'll keep it like this, and with this I can just make a little bit of like blended like that to the skin tone of the character. So if I can either make it harsh or medium, so I'll keep it around medium. Next, we need to select this. So the next color is green, so I'll just select the green color and make it a little bit of plain, like it's very bright, so I want to keep this little bit of plainer side. So I select this and I'll just play around with the slider to get that effect. So the first slider doesn't work with me, so second slider, okay, this will give you some depth, and with the yellow tone you can fade out the color a little bit. So this is the third. With the yellow slider you can make it a little bit of light green color, add some depth, brightness, and this will color code. Now if I zoom it out, you got that nice effect. Now the next step is to add level adjustment layer to add a little bit of theme color. So I'll add a level adjustment layer, and over here first thing I'm gonna do is to increase the contrast a little bit, and I'll go to blue and add some bluish tone to the overall composition a little bit like this. So this will give it that nice cool effect like this, similar to this. So if I just check like open the eyes of everyone, you got that nice cool effect. And same here. And if you want to increase the brightness, you can just play around with these contrasting layers, adjust the blue tint like this. After that, if you want to add some text, logo, you can just select everything, drag and drop it over your images. You can create some nice magazine cover design or any design you want. Now the next thing we're gonna do is to look at how you can apply this effect to an image where background is not white. So for that, I have an image and here's our images. So to get this effect very nicely, we need a white background. So I need to remove this background. So open this image in Photoshop, and now let's remove the background. So it's very simple. Just select the selection tool and click on select subject, and the Photoshop will automatically discover the selection area and it will select the subject only here. Now we need to do some refinement because it needs some refinement. You can see some hair portion has been missed out here also. So to do that, just click on select and mask, and selecting this brush, if you check it over here, it's a refine edge brush tool. So selecting that, use the size and just brush over the edges. Over here you can see I see some background color. So once you have done that, the next thing we're gonna do is to just increase the radius a little bit and click OK. Now click on mask and it will mask out the region. Now with the Alt press, click on the thumbnail and you'll see this black and white silhouette effect. We'll make sure that the black patches over this region should be white. So with the brush tool, I select the brush. With the white color selected, I'll just paint over these region which is inside our image. So now to work on the edges, we need some other tools. So I'll just select this and select the dodge tool. And if you have the dodge tool, you can easily paint the white region without going outside the subject. And you can use the burn tool to add some sharp edge along the dark area. So now once you have done that, I'll just click on thumbnail with the Alt press and you got your image. Now we'll do the same step for the other image as well. So I'll just open this image in Photoshop, and here's our image. So the steps are very simple. Selecting the selection tool, click on select subject, and this will easily select the subject. And to do the refinement, I'll select and mask, select that, and with the brush just paint it over the edges like this. Very simple. And once you have done that, just a little bit of radius and click OK. Now apply mask, and here's the image. Now with the Alt pressed, click on thumbnail, and with the dodge tool just paint it over the region, and select the burn tool and just paint it over the black region to make the edges more sharp. So here's our image. Now the next step we're gonna do is to import this image. So I'll just import this image to our file in our artboard. I'll just drag another image and place it over here as well. Now we got both the images, and I'll just scale up the size. So here's our first image and the second image. Just adjust the size according to the image, make them proportional, and we'll place this image around here. Now the next thing we're gonna do is to apply the effect, but before that, as you can see, we don't have a background color for that solid background color. So let's add a solid background. So for that, I'll add a new layer and I'll place it just below our image and fill it up with white color. Alt backspace, and then selecting both the layer, convert this into smart object. So right click and convert this into smart object. In the same way, we'll do this for the other image as well. So I'll add a new layer, place it below, and Alt backspace, then selecting these two images, I'll just convert this into smart object. And now our both image have the background color, solid background white color. Now double click on the top image, and under this blending option, I'll just uncheck R. And if you check out, we have given blue and red tone, but right now I need the opposite one. So I'll just check R and uncheck green and blue and click OK. So we got that effect. Now let's work out to get this effect. So to do that, first thing we're gonna do is to do the placement adjustment. So I'll just do some placement adjustment, selecting. Now let's adjust the color adjustment. So to do that, first thing we're gonna do is to add selective color adjustment layer. So for that, let's go over here and add selective color adjustment layer. And over here, first thing we're gonna do is to adjust the red color. So selecting the red tone, red color, let's do some adjustments. So I'll just move around this one. I'll just make a little bit of like fade, a little bit of fader like that. And after that, I'll select the cyan to adjust the blue color. So let's adjust them. So I just needed these details to be visible over here, so I just adjusted these sliders in order to get that effect. So once I have adjusted the cyan and red color, next thing we're gonna do is to add a level adjustment to add some contrast. So I'll add a level adjustment layer, and over here I'll just, first thing I'm gonna do is to add a little contrast, little bit, and a brightness, little bit like that. And I'll just select the red color, and I'll just do some sliders. So if I slide over here, you can see if I slide it down, you can see more details. So I'll just keep it around here and make it a little bit of brighter like that. And I'll select the blue tone, and I'll just make it a little bit of like the overall color changing. So I think this looks good. Now next thing we're gonna do is to add this circular ring. So to create that, it's very simple. Go to layers, and over here let's add a new layer. So adding a new layer, fill it up with any color, then convert this into smart object, and now go to filter gallery, under sketch select halftone pattern, and over here just select the circle over here and adjust the size. So for this design I'm keeping this around 3 and keeping the contrast to full, and click OK. And here's our image. I'll just move it around here like this, place it around here, and we'll change the blend mode to either multiply or dark. So either way is good, and after that we'll reduce the fill value to blend it with our background. And anytime you can go inside the levels, and if you want to give some different tone to your image, do some adjustment with the blue tone as well, just go there and add a little greenish tone, and I think this looks good. Now once you get that effect, I finally added these text, so I just create a duplicate of this, so that way you can create some nice cover design like this. And now the next thing we're gonna do is to look at how you can combine two images and create a nice composition like this. So for that, let's open the images. So here's our folder, and I'll just import these images. Just drag and drop, and I'll place it into our artboard, and I'll drag in another image as well, this one, and place it on top, and I'll hide this for a while a little bit. And as you can see, both the images are in my new artboard. If you don't know what new artboard is, it's a new feature, so I just show you how you can create new artboard. Just click on this icon and you can create multiple number of artboard in Photoshop now and work on it individually. I don't need this, I'll just delete these artboards, and I'll be working on this artboard only. So I'll just hide this layer, and selecting this background image, I'll just scale down and make it fit to our artboard. Now I'll just select the other image and do the same. So Control or Command T. Now to get this cool effect, the first thing we're gonna do is to change the blending option. So under blending option, I'll just uncheck red, and let's see. Let's keep it like this and click OK. And next thing we're gonna add over here is, if you check out in our design, I have added color balance, level, and brightness and contrast adjustment. So each 3 layer have got different function. So let's look at it. If I hide these 2 layer, this is our basic. So the first color balance, used it to add some fill color. So I'll add a color balance adjustment layer and add a base similar to this. So I'll just play around with these shadows. So just go there, and let's increase the base color, like then I'll go over here mid-tone, and let's adjust the color to make brightness and highlight. I'll go there and add a little bit of highlight to our overall design. So once you have added this, the next thing we'll add is the level. So using the level, we have added this blue tint tone to the overall design. So let's add level, and let's do that. So for now, I'll just select the blue, and let's increase this, and let's add this blue tint to the overall design, and change the red to a little bit of magenta, and we'll go to red. So you can increase the intensity of the red or decrease using the slider. So, and just go up and down just to get that exact color tone you are looking for. If I go this side, you can see the bluish tone get increases. Now I'll go to the RGB. So as you can see, it's normally it's all about your color sense. You just need to adjust the sliders as per your requirement, and you'll get a nice cool effect. Now finally, I'll add some little bit of contrast, final contrast. So I'll add a contrast and adjustment layer, and to get that sharpness, so add a brightness and contrast adjustment layer, check this and increase the contrast and the brightness as well. And if you find that it's very harsh, you can anytime go back to level and go to red channel and just reduce the red intensity over here. You get this nice cool effect. After that, if you want to add text, just select the text, create a duplicate and place it on top over here. So this way you can give some cool design, and using the same concept you can get different versions of design very easily. The steps are very simple, and the only thing you need over here is the two images which you want to blend like this, and on top you have to play around with the blending option channels, that RGB color, and you can get any effect. And after that, these adjustments layer plays an important role to achieve your color tone. If you check out our first design, you can see we have used only level and selective color adjustment layer and we got this effect, but we added this a new additional layer with the high pass to get that sharp edge. For the second design, I have worked with the dark color tone, and with that we have also did some experiment with this. We have did some changes with the RGB of both the layers to get this magenta and greenish tone, and after that I have used the selective color and level adjustment layer to get this cool balanced effect. Now on the third image over here, we have taken some different image for this. As you can see, we have removed the background for this image, then added a white background, new, and then we give that RGB channel effect to get this cool design. And then we use these two adjustment layer, that selective color and level, and then we added this nice pattern on top to get a nice effect. And lastly, we worked on this with the two different image, combine them together, blend them together using these RGB channels. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to check out the next tutorial coming up, and if you want more updates on designing, don't forget to like, share and subscribe this channel. Thank you.